Hey, Dima, good morning.
Hello, Rob. Good morning.
How are you doing? You look great today. I love your outfit. I went a little casual. Sorry. Go Tigers.
Yes, I had leadership on lattes earlier, so I had.
Oh, okay. How did that go?
Great. Really good. Yes.
Awesome.
We're having people from all around the world now join, so that's so cool.
I mean, do you have the caffeine running through you now? Are you good to go? You ready to get this thing started?
Yeah, but not that much. Not as much. Not like that. Like, yeah.
I'll tone it down a little bit.
Yes. So
yeah, but we have a very good friend of ours on today, and it's kind of exciting because we get to talk about some new stuff.
Yes. Let's bring in Stacie.
All right. Come on, Stacie. Abracadabra.
Hello. I like that. Yay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you today?
We are great. Dima, how you doing out there in San Diego?
I am doing great. I'm excited about the 3-day weekend, and I just can't believe this week is over. Like, I can't believe it's Friday. It feels like it should be Tuesday, but it's
right. I feel the same way.
Stacie, before you came on, Stacie, I was telling Dima that I woke up this morning and I thought it was Saturday already. I had completely missed Friday entirely. I don't know what that means, but I'm here now.
Right. Everybody's days are so, they're off. You know, the weeks are off.
Yeah.
So, new normal.
So what about you, Stacie? How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here. And it's always a pleasure to speak to my two favorite people. So I'm excited. I wish I were in San Diego, though. That's the truth.
Well, it looks gloomy today.
Well, you know, it never rains in Southern California.
Not complaining. Yeah.
You're brightening my day out there, Dima.
Say that again, Rob.
You're brightening my day. It might be gloomy out there, but you're brightening my day.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Stacie, are you in Baton Rouge or New Orleans?
I am actually in Baton Rouge. I've been here since Katrina.
Gotcha.
I've relocated.
You made mention you're a New Orleans girl, though.
Absolutely. I am a NOLA girl. I still have family there, so I sort of split my time. Happily.
Before this show, I was admiring the painting that Stacie has, and I learned something new about you that I had no idea. So tell us, Stacie, where are you originally from, and some information about your background.
Oh, that painting is actually from Cuba. I got it in Havana. My mom's half Cuban, so but I'm originally from New Orleans, born and bred. I matriculated there as well, and most of the experience that I gained was from New Orleans. So I'm pleased to be here. I'm relocated to Baton Rouge because of Katrina. We actually had a business in the Baton Rouge area. My brother was here, and that's how I got here. And I chose to raise my family here, which was really great for them. And it was a really great experience for me as well. So that's a little about me. I love to travel. I love to read. I love drinking wine, coffee as well. But I am actually passionate about all diversity initiatives. So I'm happy to be here to discuss all diversity initiatives.
Well, we're happy you're here to discuss it. So tell us about some of the work you're doing right now.
So I work with Good Work Network. Good Work Network is a nonprofit that started in New Orleans 19 years ago. And when it started, it targeted those organizations that were startups that traditionally weren't formal businesses, like a landscaper or maybe a childcare provider. Mm-hmm. And as they showed them or worked with them to show them how to formalize their business, provided them with all of the tools that they needed to succeed. And as they started to grow, so did we, because once your business grows, your needs grow.
Yep.
20 years later, a lot of our businesses are doing phenomenal. And so we are now providing the services that they require. We provide coaching, we do one-on-one training, we do webinars, just general webinars. And we also at times provided assistance if you needed one-on-one assistance with a specialized person or entity.
Wow. I mean, do you cover certain area? I mean, so this is mainly startups, or what? I guess what's the scope of people that you all help?
We initially started with startups, but now our sweet spot is those organizations that are between 150 and $500,000 annual revenue.
Gotcha.
With this COVID-19 pandemic, we have assisted a lot that are startups and or early stage businesses, and which that is our bread and butter. We do have the tools to do so, but our sweet spot has been those businesses that are that meet that target market.
That's a pivotal stage too, because that's when they're laying down the fundamentals, right? That's when you start to realize what you don't know, and you're needing to branch out. You need professionals. You need more guidance. I mean, there's a slew of things that come along with that in that stage, and that's a pivotal point in your professional career as an entrepreneur, right?
Yes, you do need the HR guidance. You have their specific rules. Thank you, Dima. You do need, that legal guidance. And if you're really specialized, then maybe you want a patent and explore some of those things. And your financing looks different, right? You're no longer self-financing your business, and so there are the foundations that you need to build credit. You need to build those relationships with bankers, understand what's out there and who's out there, and who and how that helps you. And
well,
so
I was going to ask you about that banker part. I mean, you can't drive that point home hard enough, right? But this is sort of, okay, that's top of mind now for everybody that's out there.
Right.
So please, I mean, between that and supply chain, right? You've got enough to start worried about.
Yes. So I can only imagine how difficult, I know how difficult it is to grow a business as an entrepreneur, but also during this time. Oh my goodness. So I know you're offering a lot of guidance, additional guidance during this time as well. And so tell us about this. Tell us about some of the resources and anything that you would like to tell entrepreneurs that you have.
So this month and a half, we offered weekly or almost weekly webinars, and we discussed HR. We discussed even tools and tricks that you can use that were low cost that could help someone who was in a service industry or a professional services industry. We did building business credit. We had a couple of marketing seminars just so businesses can think about pivoting and what does that look like, because we don't know. We don't.
Come on in.
I heard it coming. I pressed mute. And I started talking out the side of my mouth. Okay, come on. You can do it. Come on, hurry up. Let's go. Come on. So you didn't get to see Michelle was poking her head out right here.
I did.
And like, it's World War V down there. So that's, hey. Dima, you like the studio audience. We're back.
I love the studio audience. I think they should join us every time. I miss the dolls.
I'm so sorry, Stacie. You were probably saying something profound.
It reminds me of that reporter who had the baby come and the mom comes out, and that is
it's hilarious. Gold. It was 2 years ago, and it went viral. We were all laughing. Yep. We did not realize that our life is going to be like that 2 years later.
This is our life. Oh, how funny.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're back.
Yes. So, a lot of what we're doing now is talking about pivoting because no one knows what's going to happen on the other side. And if we're truly on the other side, or when that's going to happen, I know we're opening in phases and we're all trying to be careful and be mindful of all of those things. But how does this affect our business? We don't know. But we were intentional about giving you tools to think about, you know?
Yes.
If you cannot continue to operate in the way that you did prior to COVID, then maybe this is something that can help you make the decisions that you need to make. And so hopefully we were helpful in that way to some businesses.
And Stacie, for anyone who missed all of these recordings, do you have them still available for people to watch?
We actually have not made them live. I think we have one more that's coming out on Tuesday. And after that recording, the library will be live.
Good.
Yes. So we're excited about that because we have some really great webinars in there that are really timely.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Stacie, with everything that's going on, does that mean that you and your staff have also had to become like PPP and PPE experts, you know, and to guide these folks and these businesses, you know, in this critical stage? Have you guys had to become like experts, you know, in health and safety guidelines and all of these other things that we're dealing with now?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Can you tell us about like what's been the most challenging? What has been the most challenging to grasp, you know, in such a short amount of time?
I think the most challenging thing was that the amount of information that we were given was constantly changing. And so it was causing us to sort of change the way that we delivered it, you know, and we would say, you know, as per the guidance we received at noon today, this is what would happen. We were fortunate with our team that we have someone who had worked for SBA for 20 years. So he could guide us through a lot of the SBA speak. And so we were grateful for that. But as far as like the IDO and the PPP, yes, it was a quick case of learning all of these terms and processes and, you know, trying to calm people down and believe in the process. And so it was a very interesting time. So hopefully everyone who applied for the PPP received notice, and fingers crossed on the IDO.
Yeah, it was confusing and changing constantly. I remember I had to call you multiple times to get some.
Yes, it was amazing. Yes. And it was weird because there were times where people would call us and then they would hear, or someone else would have this webinar and it would be new information, but we had gotten the guidance. And so it was like, hey, per 2:00 today, this is what I know. So but we made it through, and hopefully the information that you received was beneficial.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I love it. Yeah. So we were talking before the show about financial resources, and you were talking about how they're not as much as we had before. They're more limited. So can you tell us more about this, and even if they're limited, what are still some of the resources available out there?
So the IDO, I think it's the application has been open for rural development or farmers. There are still PPP dollars. And then there are some private public partnership sort of programs. The state has one.
Yeah.
And so there was a new one that came out that I don't know a lot about, but Magic Johnson has one with small and minority businesses. So
awesome.
Yes, we do have on our website a COVID-19 resource page. And on that page, it also has a lot of links for different programs, or even those organizations or people or business owners that typically had not had programs or funding allowed to them, like crafters. So there's a grant for those who are craft makers that you can actually apply for. So we compiled all of those things on our website. So hopefully you could find something there.
You've got a lot of great tools on here now. I'm scrolling through it, and you have right here on the front page, you've got the COVID-19 resources for small businesses. So I'm going to, would you like to go through that? Do you want me to pick that up and maybe show it to the world, Stacie? Would that work?
Sure. Okay. I have to find my glasses.
Love it. So
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's pull that up. I just clicked it, and this is the page. Very sharp. Good. You've got some reopening guidelines. You know, here's a question for you, Stacie. Have you been consulting some of these, some of your constituents on what it's like to reopen safely, or what what sort of plan they should have going forward? Have you even delved into that?
Yes.
Some of those that are getting back to the 25% phase 1 type scenario.
Yes, we have. But a fair amount of our clients are in construction or engineering, and so they continue to work.
But they continued. But right now, a lot of those folks are having problem with the workforce coming back, right? Yes. If they did go on unemployment, they're fighting with now having to have the labor that once was there come back to help them out. Oh, wow. There's lots of resources here.
Yes. Yeah.
This is impressive.
We were fortunate that because we were so ingrained in the community, especially in the New Orleans area, we had the privilege of sitting on a lot of different committees that would feed us this information. And so we were a repository for distributing that. So that was one of the great things about being a well-established nonprofit.
So I wanna go back to Rob's comment about companies going back and reopening and what they're doing with their employees. What tips do you have for them, for these companies that are ready? And I'll share with you something that happened to me yesterday. I gave a virtual webinar to a company in New Orleans, and a lot of their employees were wearing masks, but they kept it under their nose, or they would take the mask out as they're sitting at their desk. So I was like, wow. So even if the employer has the PPE ready, it doesn't mean that the employees are using it and following the guidelines. So share with us tips in general. What tips do you have regarding going back to work?
Well, we will follow, of course, the guidelines, and we encourage our businesses to follow the guidelines about offering PPE. We could connect organizations with resources for PPE, taking temperatures, making sure that they're well spaced, having some guidelines about returning, and if you cannot, what does that look like? Being able to work from home. One of the things that we've learned from this is that we are productive working from home. So, but again, a lot of our clients are in construction, so they're actually outside. So even those who are working on projects, they were always wearing, or are typically used to wearing, PPE. But our professional services clients, it is new for them, with having to wear a mask over their faces, and being mindful of the distance, and maybe trying to change the way that you do business and meet virtually versus in person, and trying to work through those things. We're all, the whole Zoom life is interesting, is new for a lot of us, having to do this consistently. So I think by the end of this, we'll all be pros. We'll all have that snazzy background, and
it's funny you say that, because there was an article that came out yesterday, and through the Baton Rouge Business Report, and it even mentioned it's like every job's a tech job now. And you have to think that without being forced to do this, we would have pushed this to the back burner for as long as we possibly could have. We've still been doing the same old. So I mean, it's kind of forced some folks to, do some professional development, learn new skills. And yeah, every job now is a tech job, every job. And so I'm glad you touched on that, because I kind of feel the same way. I mean, I'm in the tech industry and I'm still learning new stuff. And there's things that we're having to have a broader scope of now. But even as just a general user, an entrepreneur, a business owner, or an employee, I'm sure you're probably being put in positions now where you're having to learn more software or do something different over the internet, provided in a different way when it was in person. So all of that coming together has sort of, we're adaptable. We're humans. We're animals. We can do this, right? So it's kind of good that we had this, just not under these circumstances.
Yes. Ours, as an organization, I mean, we've gone through a lot of different programs to figure out which one is best for us. And so it's not a one size fits all kind of platform out there. And there are some, and you do, what was great about this time and trying to decide which platform is great for you is that they were giving away 30 free days or 90 free days. So you could test and figure out which one you'd use moving forward.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yes.
So do you have anything that, like, what gets you going at the Good Work Network? I mean, you're obviously doing good work, but I mean, I'm sure you're working with great people. What is it that drives you, Stacie? What do you love most about Good Work Network?
One of the things that drives me is working with diversity initiatives. There are a lot of opportunities that are available to organizations, but you just have to you have to know how to go after them and what to do or how to identify them and the things that you need to have in place to to attempt to get those contracts. So my background had been working with minority and diverse businesses, and I had been doing this for some time. I won't say how long because I'm, only 30, but it is looking and creating those partnerships with organizations that are looking for those women-owned businesses, those minority-owned businesses, or diverse business enterprises, and making sure that they are in that chain. So I started doing that, doing this in New Orleans. I started off doing it at a IT startup, actually. And then I went on to Gateway Computers, and I covered 7 states, did a lot of marketing and segment marketing for them. Yeah. And then from there, I went to another organization after Gateway closed. It was another nonprofit that began my nonprofit life, which I identified minority students and professionals because typically no one was actually or had a pipeline to find talent. So that led me to Baton Rouge, and that's what I was doing when I was in Baton Rouge. I actually had a couple of contracts. I had opened my own business, had a couple of contracts, but I went to grad school. And after I finished my MBA, I started working for the Minority Supplier Development Council, which is an affiliate of the National Minority Supplier Development Council. And it is an organization that works with Fortune 500 companies and those suppliers that want to go into their supply chain. And so I was developing those businesses and giving them the skills and the tools that they needed to get those contracts. So that was very interesting, and I loved it. And from there, I went to the mayor's office, and I helped them with I wrote a small business program. I put together some of his, Mayor Holden was actually my boss. I put together some of his signature events, those small business conferences and those construction engineering fairs and things like that. And so I have this passion for helping businesses make money, giving them the tools to make money. So now that I'm back at, now that I'm in or at Good Work Network, one of the things that I want to do that I'm going to do is actually expand the number of organizations that are aware of all of the businesses, the wonderful businesses that we have in our community. Um, One thing that COVID taught us is that you don't have to be in that same city or state, actually. So my job is to go and create those partnerships. We have wonderful, amazing organizations that are in South Louisiana that actually can do jobs or contracts that are in different parts of the country. And so I want to be that person and can be that person to create those partnerships and those pipelines for those opportunities.
That's exciting. So you're getting to network with a lot of people.
Amazing.
And you're also leaving a legacy too, Stacie. We need to talk about that because it seems like wherever you go, you're putting a little bit of yourself into it, a lot of yourself into it actually. And it's something you like to do. So I think that kind of carries out through the work that you're doing, but it sounds like giving back is probably crucial to your being or to who you are. Am I off?
No. You have it. You nailed it. One of the things my mom taught me is that, you should be, whatever you do, you should be passionate about it and let the passion lead you to the position. So my passion for minority businesses is what makes me great in this position. My passion for my minority and diverse businesses is what made me great when I was at the mayor's office or when I was at the Minority Supplier Development Council. So it isn't who I'm attached to, it's my passion. And so I always try to leave with my passion. I want to open the doors or the pathways or create a pipeline for businesses. I mean, we should not be defined, or businesses should not be defined by the borders of this parish, or the area of the state that we live in. And so if I could do my part and create and opening that pipeline, then I've done a great job.
Wow.
Can you go back on because I love that quote. You said your mom taught you that, or
my mom.
Let your passion lead you to the position.
Yes.
Can you talk about that just a little more, like? Because I don't think I've ever heard it put that way, and it's so simple. But you've got to dive deeper on that one for me.
Well, actually, it started off. I'm an only girl, 3 brothers. My mom. There was this expectation that we would all go to college. And it was just, she said, you could study whatever you want. You do what you like, study what you like, do what you want. Sorry. And so
Okay.
all of my siblings and I all have diverse paths. Like my undergraduate degrees are in psychology and sociology. And this is what I do. I have a brother who his undergraduate is in social science and he owns a construction company. And another brother who had a business degree was a chef. And then my little brother had a business degree and he works for a railroad company. So, we all followed our passion. And so I think that makes us happier people. I enjoy connecting people to opportunities. And if at the end of the day, if that's what you remember about me, then I've done my job. That you don't remember my name, that's fine. But if you remember that, hey, I met this person, she followed up, she connected me. It could be 2 years from now. She connected me, she remembered me and connected me to an opportunity that she heard, then, I'm doing something that I am passionate about. I believed in you, believed that you have the tools to do this or the ability to do this. I heard about this opportunity, and I think you at least should have a conversation. So I'm passionate about being that connection.
I like that.
Such a great tagline. I connect people to opportunities, and it's I can't talk anymore. It's not just your purpose. It has such a deep meaning to everybody that gets in touch with you and is part of your network.
Yes, I do. I'm passionate about that. I'm passionate about about putting minority businesses and giving them or positioning them for things that that I won't say that's owed to them, because nothing is owed. but just positioning them into opportunities that is allowed for them. I think that's the best way.
Look, we've got a commenter that agrees. I mean, let your passion lead you to the position. This is so true. I wish we could see who that was. Having some technical difficulties, but that's so powerful, Stacie. I love that, and obviously that message got through to your siblings too, right? I mean, I loved hearing how they went for school to this, but did that. That is so cool. And I mean, some people would think that's like a lost opportunity, or what you spend all that tuition money on, but really, you're more well-rounded person at that point, because you have an understanding and awareness of this, but you're doing that. And I mean, I think that's a good fundamental. I think we should probably stick back into this world. I love that. And then what was it again? Learning what you want, but do what you like. Was that it?
Yes.
What was it?
Go to school for learn what you like, do what you want.
Learn what you like, do what you want. So when are you going to have your book agreement and contract? So I mean, you can have Stacie's book of quotes, and I could just go ahead and subscribe to that.
Right.
I love it. You're dropping so much wisdom today.
So, Stacie, I wanna add to a point Rob made earlier, which it makes us all rounded people with the different experiences we've had. So I can only imagine with your background, your bachelor, you said, was in psychology, right?
Sociology.
How this is helping you to continue to connect to people, to continue to understand what they need, their challenges, and that would take the sessions with you and working with you to a whole different level. It's not just business; it's personal.
Yes, and I do go back to the psychology and the sociology, and I think it's great because you get to understand where you're coming from. What drives you. Your community, what got you from point A to point B, or anything that you encountered in between those along your path, and be able to speak to that.
Yeah.
So that has helped.
I need help. That's my studio audience. I quit the messenger. I click on quit, and it doesn't show. Like, it just keeps showing up. Anyways, that's what.
I'm glad I'm not the only one today.
Oh, it's my turn next.
How much more do I need to do than quit and still work? Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So yes, so there'll be my turn will be a little 6-pound dog that's going to start yapping because she sees a squirrel, or she hears something that's her noise. So it's okay.
So what I love about our show is all the information we get to learn about other people that we don't even know. Like, Stacie, I remember we've been to events together. I've been to a happy hour with you, and I always enjoyed that. But I never learned so much about you as a person and your background. And that's one of the things that I cherish about what we're doing here, and not just featuring people, but getting to learn more about you and connecting with you.
Yep.
I think this is great. This is a great platform for this, and I'm excited, to participate. So I have questions for you guys.
Love it. Bring it on.
So how did you connect, and do you guys do business together?
Dima, answer that, because now it's my turn.
Okay, you go. Oh, you're okay. You want me to answer that? So I gave a talk at the tech park, and they had a CEO roundtable. So I went there and I talked about the generations and motivating the employees. And one of the attendees was Rob. So at the end of the session, I offered everybody a free coaching session with me. And Rob emailed me.
Take her up on it.
Yes. He took me up, and then we had a session in my office in downtown Baton Rouge. But the best part was I also offered them free resources. And so I was trying to email him, and I went to my email and I searched his name. And apparently, Rob, you and I talked before that time, because I gave a talk at the Rotary Club. Right. And you emailed me afterwards, and I did not even know. I did not know that we've communicated in the past. So Rob became my coaching client, and then we became friends, and now we're doing this.
Yes.
And I remember seeing Dima, and I was like, I need to know this person. I must introduce myself. I have to ask her a question. There's so much I can learn from her. And when I had the opportunity at, the tech park, it was like, okay, now I've got her. I'm not in a room with 200 people that I have to compete with. Laser focus, ask Dima a question. And then look, it might not have gone this far had she not offered. I mean, to give someone an hour of your time, that's so special. So I knew I had to take her up on that, and I'm a better person for it because I got some great business coaching. I got some great leadership motivation through it. And a lot of the things that we talked about, 6 months later, I finally got to put them into place and to practice. And then I started, losing weight, being better with how I manage my time, and, trying to delegate better or more, and, all the things we were working on. And, how that is. I'm sure someone's done that for you, Stacie, where they've offered a piece of themselves and gave it to you, and you were better for it. That's part of our journey. And I was just so happy that Dima would, one, talk to me, and two, just allow the conversation to go wherever it wanted to go. Because a lot of times, it was structured here, but we went somewhere else, and that's what I needed. So yes. I'm sure you're providing that same thing for your clients. Yeah, you might be talking about this right now, but you also know there's this underlying thing that you can also help with, and here you go. And so that's how we met. That's our story. And just a simple phone call turned into this show that we get to have you on. And so, I mean, this, for me, this is a gift, and I don't want it to stop. This is a gift I'm going to keep unwrapping too, because we're going to keep doing this and giving back. Like the joy I would get out of opening that present is something that we get to do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I get to share it. But now it's going to be Tuesday, Thursday. So it's going to be tricky. You got to be careful with that. So what other questions do you have, Stacie?
So what about your businesses? How have you pivoted during this time?
So I'll go. In my situation, March 13th, 2020 is the day I will never forget, because that is the day when I got a call after the next one of conferences that I have speeches booked at to go give keynotes, that all of them were like, Dima, we either have to put it on hold, we have to move it to next year, or we have to cancel. So not my favorite day. And after that, I started thinking about what can I do different? And the different is to do more work virtual. I was doing virtual work already. So I still coach. I used to coach individual virtual. I have coaching clients in Washington. I even, Rob, once in a while, if I'm traveling, we would have coaching sessions virtually. Yep. But I realized that it needs to be more of that. And then I started reaching out to my clients, and I would say, how about we talk about a discount, at a reasonable discount, for us to continue to do the workshop or the event, and we can do it virtually. So now I have all kinds of training coming up, which is amazing. And they're benefiting from it because their employees are continuing to learn and staying motivated. I'm benefiting for it because it's business that I keep having going on, and they're getting a little discount, which is wonderful. So that's how I pivoted, and I'm actually comfortable with it this way. I want to be able to do my business and not to be dependent on a location. So if I want to go and live in the future when things open up in Italy for a year, I want to be able to do that. So I think it was a wake-up call to a lot of us. And it's also waking us up to opportunities that we have and we were not truly focused on.
That's right. And they were right in front of us. That's what we were talking about before. Either we were too afraid to take it, or maybe you're not confident enough in taking that leap. And hey, it's here. Do something with it. Make good use of your time. And now it's better for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Great.
Like leadership on lattes, I'm planning, even when we open up, I'm planning to keep it virtually for the next year. I don't want to put anybody at risk by I don't want to do that. And all my coaching now, even when things open up, I want to keep my coaching virtual. It saves a lot of time. Imagine how much time, Rob, you used to do to drive and then find the parking in downtown Baton Rouge and then walk in. And we are saving on all of this, and it's being more efficient, more focused.
All of that. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to this work from home gig and working remotely. And just like Dima, you can be more efficient with your time. You can have more. You can see more people during the day. I mean, even going as far as healthcare, you know, they're doing a lot of only go in if you have to, and they're doing telemedicine. I mean, or delivering your groceries and doing shopping for you and putting it at your door without contacting someone. I mean, that's not touching something. I mean, that's great. Those things could have been there before, but I mean, sure, the market's more primed for it now. But I was one of those people like, why aren't we doing it this way? And so I love that about this. And it's something to say about adding more services, more flexibility, and more, I guess, more freedom for the consumer. And I also like, Dima, I like that you mentioned that you were willing to continue doing this over and over and over again with Leadership and Lattes, because look, there's going to be some folks that would come to Leadership and Lattes every meeting. But there's going to be those same ones that were there every single time that might not feel comfortable going back out into society, getting in a big group, or maybe they have concerns health-wise that don't want to put themselves at risk. So I think, look, we've already done it. We've laid the groundwork. We've worked out all the kinks the last 2 months. But I don't think this should go away. In fact, it should supplement every live event, every meeting, every conference, because there's people that can't make it. And then let's take it a step further and let's put closed caption on everything, because the deaf community is missing out on this amazing work that we're doing here, or other information or resources that we could be talking about. Yeah. So why can't we just take this, embrace it, and accelerate it 100 times more? Yes. In my opinion.
I want to add something. So Leadership on Lattes it's a women group that I started 3 years ago in Baton Rouge, and it was mainly people in Baton Rouge. And I would get contacts from people from all around the world asking me to start groups in their cities. And I'm like, yeah, I can't.
Yes.
I cannot do it. But imagine our event today. We had attendees from New York. We had attendees from Texas. Wow. I invited my friend from Jordan. She was on the call to interact with everybody on the call and learn together. So we could have done this before, and it's amazing now. Like, how can we take what we're doing right now and scale it to a bigger audience and reach more people? And that's the silver lining of a lot of the difficult experience that we're living in. So, Rob, I want to hear about you. How are you pivoting your business?
Look, this is going to be horrible. I actually have to pivot right now, and I need to pivot and run downstairs. I have an employee that needs PPE. He's going to see a client. I'm so sorry. I really need to pivot. I need a pandemic pivot right now. I'm so sorry.
Well, Stacie, it was a pleasure having you join us. I feel so good learning more about you and your background, and I have so much more appreciation for you and all the amazing, meaningful, purpose-driven work that you're doing in the community. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for all the work of the Good Work Network and your team's work. And we can't wait to have you again on our show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Stacie,
it.
We'll have a version 2 of this. We'll have a part 2. We need to reconnect in a few months and see how it's gone, see what else has changed for you. And then you can take over the show and ask us questions. Yes. I like that more. I'm so sorry. We're doing a part 2 of this. We got to say goodbye. But
well,
Stacie,
one second. So for our audience, connect with Stacie, check out the Good Work Network, but also know that as of next week, our events are going to be Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Central. So we're going to have amazing guests that are already lined up. So join us Tuesday and Thursday.
Love that. Tuesday,
have a great holiday.
Yes, everyone enjoy Memorial Weekend, and remember what Memorial Day is for. Let's honor those that have fallen and those that gave the ultimate sacrifice. But we're going to salute you all now and take you out with some more music. Come on, Dima, bring it on. Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
I'm in the second line
Maryland
downstairs.
person.
Shout out to 19 Thanks too. They did an amazing job.
Take care of the PPE.
Oh, yeah, I gotta go. Bye.
Bye.